The tools that you'll need for this install are a flathead, mainly for prying, a Phillips, a T30 star bit. I used a T-handle as I felt that was the easiest. You can also use a drill. If you do use a drill, make sure that you turn down the settings so as not to strip any screws. First, what you'll do is remove this plastic piece. You can just pull it off by hand. This seemed to be the easiest place to pop it. It'll come right off. As you can see, there's latches here, here. The next thing you'll do is just remove this cable. Just push this button down and it comes off. Set that aside. Get a small screwdriver and gently pry this up. There's a screw that we'll need to remove. The next thing you'll need to do is take that same screwdriver, put it right here. There's a piece of plastic there. You'll just pop that off and this thing will just come right out. As you can see, there's 3 clips that hold it in. You'll see that there's a screw that needs to come out here prior to taking the plastic door panel off. The next thing you're going to do, it was easiest for me if I grabbed right here and just applied pressure and popped that. The whole door is going to pop off. If you just pull up on it, this thing will just come right out. Next, you'll need to take your T30 and you're going to need to come right in here to the back where you can unscrew the bolt that holds the handle on. The next thing that we're going to need to do is remove these. Also uses the T30 bit. Once that's removed, this piece can be moved out of the way. You'll then have access via this hole to fit your T30 into the bolt holding this on. Piece removed. One item of important note is that when you do remove these screws, they're not going to come out all the way. They're held in by a little plastic piece. So be careful still, but you don't have to really worry about losing those in the door. Next, we'll slide this forward and remove this. There is a little gasket that you'll want to put back on. So then you'll just slide this back on how it came out. It slides this way and out and this way and in. Then we're going to replace everything and go in reverse. Once you've replaced the handle, you're going to need to put this lock piece back in place. 2 things to note. Please line up the seals. There's foam seals. And there's also a metal latch inside that needs to be lined up. If that red thing is not on that metal post, then your door handle will not unlatch the door. This is what it should look like correctly installed. You can then go ahead and put the rest of the bolts in. Next, what we'll do is reconnect the handle lever. Very easy. Slide it through and snap it into place. Once we're done with that, we can put the door back on by snapping it back into place. Just make sure that everything's lined up with your seals and that nothing's hanging out. Everything should snap pretty easily back into place. Now we are going to replace this screw. We will also replace this screw. Once both screws have been put into place, you can replace this cap and replace this cap. There you go. It was a little difficult, but we can then reconnect our window power. We can then snap this back into place. I caution you though, that this needs to go in first and then it'll snap down. If you don't, you can end up cracking it like that. That's it on replacing a door handle.